Hi, it's Mark from Mark of the Cyberbeast. Today we have an episode on how to fix a completely destroyed Cybertruck. What do I mean? Well, I spent the weekend standing 200 feet of pier. Look at this beautiful job. Isn't it beautiful? Well, after you spray this, you have to clean it up. So Mark pressure washed the hoses and everything, got everything nice looking nice. Except Mark did this within proximity of his Cybertruck, probably 20-25 feet away. Didn't realize when you pressure wash at 3,000 PSI, the water will send debris everywhere within 50 feet. Well, guess what? This stain, this lovely orange New Cedar Cabot's semi-transparent stain is all over my Cybertruck, and it looks nasty. Well, guess what? I found out how to fix this. So those of you out there who may have been vandalized or may have done something stupid like I did, I'm going to show you how to get this off and get it off safely so that you can clean your vehicle. Again, mine's polished, but this should work with your raw dog style, stock truck. But we're going to start off with mineral spirits. Get a lot of the glop of that stain off. When we use the mineral spirits, it's going to break it down and it's going to smear that stuff all over. Well, then we're going to go back over with some Barkeeper's Friend. Now, if you have a polishing tool, that's great. I didn't have my polishing tool charged, so basically I'm just doing it by hand because I'm kind of upset I did this. So I've got all the energy in the world to muscle through and use Barkeeper's Friend on it. So I'm going ahead to do that. Then after I do that, I'm just hosing it down with water. Soap and water is probably fine, but right now I just want to get a good lay of it. I did the hood. We're going to show you everything I did, and hopefully it's looking better, and we're going to go over the whole truck afterwards, but we're going to show you a piece of this truck that it just looks like nasty. So now we've got an episode we didn't plan for. If you come in close here with me, you'll see we've got stain all over my beautiful, shiny, expensive Cybertruck. Now this episode is going to be in the cleaning process that we're doing to clean this up. We've got some solvent. We've been soaking it in other parts of the vehicle, and I'll show you the hood. We kind of soaked some solvent in. We got the big thick pieces off, but there's unfortunately some kind of shadow behind it. So now we're going to try maybe some Barkeeper's Friend and a polishing wheel. We may have to actually get it buffed out again to get this stuff off. It is stained pretty well. I can't believe how well this semi-transparent Cabot's wood stain is. It is literally muckied up my truck. It is heartbreaking. This video is not one of those happy-go-lucky videos. This is one of those videos that is simply going to be a learning video for everyone out there in case you ever get wood stain or any kind of debris, maybe vandalized by these idiot anti-Cybertruck people. So we're going to help you see what gets it off. So right now we're using some chemical solvent, the paint thinner, lacquer, to remove some of the debris. But what it's also doing is smearing that stain over the truck. So we're going to have to keep going over it with water, just cleaning it all up, going over with Barkeeper's Friend and really getting it out because it actually melds into the metal, because metal is porous to some degree, and that stain is meant to get into pores. So that's what this episode is going to be on, is trying to get this crap off my truck that I did. So stay tuned, and we're going to do some more work on it and hopefully get this all cleaned up. And one of the added pluses of a polished truck is the reminder, never skip leg day, because that's all you see when you go to your truck. Okay, so Mark is not as sad and upset anymore. So what we did was we used some of this mineral spirits. Got this over at Lowe's. I had that from my staining. Took the big glops off. Went ahead with Barkeeper's Friend. Gotta love Barkeeper's Friend. And really kind of just went over it with my hand. I didn't even use a machine on it. And looked like it got most of it off, so then I went ahead with some water and just doused it with water. Got a wet rag and just kind of wiped all the chemicals off of it, and then I dried it off, and it looks like that stain actually came off. So it's a sigh of relief. So right there I just did another wipe with water. You can see me squeegeeing off the hood, and it looks like I may not even have to rebuff the truck because That was my biggest fear because my polisher is booked until July, but look at this thing. All that caked on stain from my pier actually came off. So big sigh of relief. So if you guys ever get paint or stain on your truck, we're gonna continue on doing more work with this. We're gonna go around the vehicle and show you everything. But mineral spirits, barkeeper's friend, hose everything off real well, get all of that petroleum-based product off that metal finish, and you should be in good shape. So now I'm gonna go back to muscling through this with the help of my lovely wife. Okay, we're gonna get some up-close details of this mucky. Look at this, it's just all over. And it just drips and drabs everywhere. And we're gonna use some mineral spirits to remove that, but it's gonna still leave a shadow behind it. And that's where the barkeeper's friend is gonna come in. Look, even at the top here, it got it in the glass too, got it in the windshield, but this was after we did all that. We did the barkeeper's friend and the solvent. Now we've got drip marks. I'm not concerned about that, but all of the residue seems to have come off. So I wanted to do this hood first because I know everything probably got caked on it. Then we're gonna do this front area, clean this up over here, because you can see there's still some residual debris. But then we're gonna go back along the sides and we're just gonna get mineral spirits on here and go ahead and clean a lot of this stuff. Again, it may not look like it's that bad, but stain will seep in there and it cakes in there really bad. This is hard to get up. Even my nail won't even get some of it up, but you have to get in there with mineral spirits. But again, we're gonna back it up with some barkeeper's friend and then soap and water to get all the petroleum-based products off so that it looks shiny again. Then I'll probably just give it one more hose off afterward. But yeah, that was what I woke up to this morning. The sun will have it cake in. You don't want that. So I try to get as much in the shade as possible. Let me show you where I spray right over here where the orange hose is back there, and over here in front of the garage. Somehow my truck was parked over here and it went all over all four sides of the truck. I don't know how, but anywhere you see where it's not smooth, where it's kind of, that's barkeeper's friend, right? That's that hazy stuff. So all over here, got it on the glass, got it on the windshield. So now I have to put barkeeper's friend on the windshield. And by the way, you don't necessarily have to use mineral spirits. Mineral spirits are good for the big clumpy deposits. But what I'm finding out is barkeeper's friend will actually take it off just as easy as mineral spirits. So this section right here, I did all barkeeper's friend and no mineral spirits. My wife was using mineral spirits here. I'm gonna go over it with barkeeper's friend because there's definitely still that shadow on it. I'm gonna have to go on top and get the glass because I know for a fact there's stuff on there. I'm gonna check out the tonneau cover because it is everywhere. So Mark got vandalized by Mark. So here we are cleaning it up. I'll tell you, this is a big ordeal, but I'm glad I'm making progress. So things not to do near your Cybertruck. Pressure wash after staining your pier. Okay, so this section here, I actually did not use any mineral spirits. I just used barkeeper's friend. And I am now just wiping off with a rag the barkeeper's friend. Now I do plan to go over it with soap and water. Honestly, you probably should just barkeeper's friend the whole truck, make it smooth and consistent. But it appears as though barkeeper's friend is much more of a cleaner than people give it credit for, because look at this. Now I do want to show you, oh, missed a spot right there. If you look over here, this is where I had a lot of the biggest problems. Again, if you've got a polisher, mine wasn't charged. That's definitely the better way to go. I missed a little spot there, but look at that. This is the area that had glops and glops of stain on it. And I'll try to see if I can do a side-by-side comparison, but I'll tell you, that barkeeper's friend really saved my butt today. So right now I'm just taking it off. I'm probably gonna have to go over one more time with barkeeper's friend just to really smooth it out. Then I'm just gonna wash and wax it, but I dodged a bullet. Mark, stop vandalizing your Tesla. Well guys, I dodged a bullet. Give you an idea of what I did yesterday. These are my Grudens I wore, covered in stain. My fishing boots, covered in stain. But my Cybertruck is no longer covered in stain. Now this should serve as a great lesson for anyone that was vandalized, because stain is actually more liquid, not as thick as paint, and therefore it goes into pores a little bit easier. So the fact that I was able to get this stain off really was just barkeeper's friend. I was using mineral spirits, but honestly, I don't think I was getting the results I wanted. It was really just smearing it all around. Barkeeper's friend really did a great job. If you look, I'm back to shiny. I have no more spots, which were huge. I mean, these things are all over the place, especially down in the hood. This hood was so coated, and because it's the top hood, the sun hit it and baked it in. It was horrible. So I was really concerned about that. And there's my auto opener, which I didn't want to happen, but it did. So the reality is, you gotta show them a lot more care when you're pressure washing. But all in here, you guys saw, all this stain is now gone, okay? And now I still have to wash the truck. I wanna get all the barkeeper's friend, I wanna get all the solvent off of the truck and get back to its shine. Now I gotta be bug infested because I got a 3-hour trip there and a 3-hour trip back to Raleigh. So I'll be leaving at 7 in the morning, probably getting back around 8 at night. I have a good 13-hour day in front of me. Not looking forward to it, but it is what it is, right? I need my light bar. Some other things are getting serviced. So I'm also gonna take this light bar down, my hand show light bar, which I love. And I totally suggest you guys, if you've got the all-wheel drive, to get it, because that Cyberbeast light bar is like $2,500 from Tesla. And while it looks really nice, honestly, it's $2,500, and this hand show one is a fraction of the price. Now, how did this all happen? This all happened because I was going to put on my spoiler from cybertruckco.com. And what I was going to do was go to the driver's side and get my knife out. As I went to the driver's side door, guess what I noticed? Stain all over it. My heart sunk. Made a quick phone call to my wife because she's an artist. She knows how to get paint off of anything. So I enlisted her help. She was out here like a champ helping me out, cleaning this all off. So hats off to her. So light bar's coming off. I'm gonna give her another hose down. And that's how you get rid of stain, paint. If anyone vandalizes your Tesla, after you beat the snot out of them, this is how you clean it. Now, if you guys have any questions about the products I use, I'm gonna have links for them down below, or how to do it, or any other issues with cleaning. I've had this truck a year. I've cleaned it raw dog. I've cleaned it polished. I've had crap on here. I've had bird crap on here. I've had stain on here. I've had rust stains on here, okay? I've gotten it out without freaking out or using anything too harsh on it. That's my episode for this week, all right? Now, let's get back to our fun stuff and start talking real Cybertruck stuff before I start screwing up and painting all over my truck, which I didn't want to do today. I'll tell you, my heart sunk. This was almost a very unfun episode. I re-recorded this thing 4 times because every time I recorded it, my wife goes, "You sound so depressed. Don't do it. Re-record it. It's gonna come out. It's gonna be better." So hopefully you got my optimistic self at the end of this video, because I really was, my heart sunk. And I know you guys feel for me. Look, if this happened to anyone, I'd feel horrible. Even those people who had their vehicles vandalized, it wasn't their own stupidity. What hurt the most, it was my own stupidity. You know, I should have moved the vehicle when I pressure washed. That just was simply, mark. Anyway, I learned, you learn, we all learn. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys tomorrow.